Salutations everyone, this is Razor giving you a gameplay commentary on the map Seatown using the AA-12 shotgun with the foregrip attachment. This is my first real attempt at trying to get a full-on gameplay with this gun, and it's really nice to find some success on your first try. Got the G18 Akimbo secondary, and when it comes to the AA-12, like I've mentioned before, it's the fastest fire rate out of all these shotguns in the game, and you don't get a lot of ammunition, which is really the AA-12's downfall. I guess it kind of balances it out since it has such a high fire rate and a low amount of ammo. I guess they thought, you know, if we give them both, this shotgun will be so overpowered. But yeah, we all know how powerful the shotguns are in this game. But when it comes to the AA-12, ammunition is going to be scarce, and since it's such a high fire rate, you need to reload quite often. So that's why I highly recommend using this setup. I really find it's the only way to actually use the AA-12 with some success, using the specialist strike package. I start off with scavenger, hardline, and steady aim, my typical shotgun rushing perk setup, and sleight of hand as my first perk that I unlock, and then I think it's blast shield and then stalker. And the reason I think I might have mentioned before, but if you haven't seen those videos, I recommend starting off with scavenger first, because you'll have that pro ability of starting off with extra magazines right off the bat at the beginning of the game. So picking up those blue bags is not so imperative at the beginning of the game, and you won't find yourself running out of ammo quite as much than if you would run sleight of hand first and then unlocking scavenger later. And you know, after your first kill is really the only time you'll need that sleight of hand, and if you're running a hardline like I am, after that first kill you'll get sleight of hand, so you'll never be at a disadvantage unless it's the probability of switching to your secondary first. But if you're going for an AA-12 gameplay, you want to get as many AA-12 kills as possible. So that's really my highly suggested setup for this weapon. Use scavenger, hardline, and steady aim. A specialist with sleight of hand as your first one, and honestly whatever you want for the second two. I just decided to put on blast shield to prevent myself from getting stunned or claymored and bouncing bettied, and stalker to further help out with that, and just because I really couldn't think of something better right off the top of my head at the beginning of this game when I was setting up my perks. And C4 to finish off that little douche in final stand. Death streaks are much more of a problem than I bet most people anticipated, and I kind of have some criticism for that. For those people out there, when the death streaks were announced for this game, a lot of people saw, you know, these different death streaks that we weren't used to. We all knew Martyrdom and Final Stand, but this Hollow Point and Revenge and Dead Man's Hand, people were kind of like, huh, well, those seem kind of powerful and pretty good, but you have to die so many times to get those. That's not going to be a problem. It's like, have you played Call of Duty before? You know how many scrubby dubs out there, you know, die 5-6 times in a row consistently, multiple times in absolutely every single game? People aren't getting Dead Man's Hands like crazy. It's harder to gauge how often people are getting Revenge and Hollow Points, because those aren't immediately visually obvious, but Dead Man's Hand obviously is quite obvious because you get blown up. And back in Modern Warfare 2, you only needed really 7 kills to get the nuke. As my uncle Thunder Toro tweeted a couple days ago, you only needed 7 kills to get to the nuke because you got your Harrier, then Chopper Gunner, and the nuke. And in Modern Warfare 3, all you need is 5 deaths, because freaking Dead Man's Hand is basically a tiny little nuke, because that thing is OP as hell. Its blast radius is ridiculous, and it's super overpowered. And I hear it's a huge problem in headquarters. Someone will just die multiple times, run to the headquarters, and blow the entire enemy team up, you know, quads and 5-man dead man's hands are apparently quite prevalent. Luckily, I am not quite adept at headquarters in this game because I have not played it that often, and it's really not one of my favorite game modes, so I have not experienced this. But if you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, the AA-12, I'm not sure if the fire rate is slower than it was in Modern Warfare 2, but definitely it seems like it, feels like it, sounds like it. It may not be the case, but it's definitely not as powerful. Like I said, this was my first try really using this gun. I only have like the grip and the red dots unlocked at this point, so I didn't have the range and the damage proficiencies, which are definitely going to make this gun better. I suspect putting damage on this puppy would definitely be best, because that seems to be the best choice for most shotguns, is the damage proficiency, which I've only unlocked on the spaz. I'm working on the model and the striker as of right now, but I hear for pretty much all of them damage is the way to go. But on the striker, it's really a toss-up. It doesn't matter, which is, you know, it should be the case, because that's really the best shotgun. So the difference between range and damage should be less obvious. But the AA-12 overall, it's a fun gun to use. I mean, it's a fully automatic shotgun. I mean, how more badass can you be, unless you could like akimbo it FPS Russia style. But it's really good for maps such as Seatown. You guys obviously know from my shotgun report card that Seatown is definitely a shotgun friendly map. And you know, there are a couple others out there, but definitely with all of the turns and tight corridors, and with the high automatic fire of the AA-12, this is definitely the best map for it. So if you just want to give it one shot to see if it suits your playing style, and if maybe if you want to use this gun a little more, go ahead and try it on Seatown, or another map that you're more comfortable with rushing with the shotgun. Yeah, I mean, maybe you like doing it on Hard Hat, or maybe you like doing it on Outpost, or some ridiculous like Baccarat or something. But it's a good gun. It's definitely not as powerful as it was in Modern Warfare 2, but still, it's a usable shotgun in my opinion, much more than the USAS, and it's definitely more consistent. It's the most probably the most consistent shotgun. That the striker may be just as consistent, but you're not going to find yourself getting too many, you know, 4, 5, 6 hit markers on one guy without putting him down. And it'll put him down 3 to 4 shots, 1 or 2 at extremely close ranges. But my final score here is 27-1-8. Not a great gameplay, but it was my first time using this weapon. I just wanted to share with you guys my experience with it. And so hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave your comments below on this weapon or any other setup you would like me to use in game. If you have any requests, go ahead and put them below. And believe it or not, I'm gonna do them. And if you have already posted some previously that I haven't gotten to, be sure to repost those, just so I'm familiarized with what I need to do next to please you guys and give you the best Call of Duty experience possible on YouTube. And I'll see you guys later.